money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. I'ma knock it out the park with this one, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. Queens get the money. Queens get the money.
Welcome to Queens Get the Money. My name is Barry Grant Jr. That person in the middle there is a silent assassin. How you doing, silent assassin? How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. That person over there all the way in the corner is my good buddy Tom Greer. How you doing, sir?
Doing okay. Today kind of sucked, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, today definitely sucked, and we'll get into it. You know, we'll get into it. Because I try not to be too hyperbolic and try to get too crazy about things. It is early in the season. However, there's a trend here, and it's not a good one. So we'll get into the latest game between the D-backs? The D-backs and the Mets. We'll talk about Freddie Peralta. There's some noise around him. We'll also discuss Pedro Martinez comments. We'll talk about Mark Vientos in regards to how comfortable he looks, and anything else that comes up in regards to the Mets and rumors and all these other things. So, where do we start?
I mean, do we just dive right in and just? I guess we could talk about. I don't know if we're going to talk about both games. But we could at least go into what we saw today because that was just painful.
Yeah, I mean, let's just deep dive right into it, man. I mean, D-backs beat the hell out of us, 7-2. David Peterson just has a rough day. Five earned runs in two innings, pretty much. The offense just couldn't get going. I mean, once you spot a team five runs early on, man, it's a tough hole to get out of, especially when it's still pretty cold outside. You're going to get a lot of inconsistencies in regards to hitting when the weather is like this, right? So, Silent Assassin, what are your thoughts about the very, very I don't even know what word to use, low quality start from David Peterson, to say the least?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, clearly, out of all our starters so far, he's been the one with the most issues.
Yeah.
I don't really remember from his first start, he wasn't, from my memory, wasn't relatively too bad. And then kind of after that, kind of fell off. I know his last start was also very rough, kind of only, didn't last that very long without, he had like a big blow-up inning. And, there's just same as today, like he's not really getting his pitches across well. Like there's not, obviously the hitters are picking up on what he's throwing and just taking advantage of it. And, he kind of, obviously we talk about like fell off a cliff like the second half of the last season. So if it does, I see that Mendoza said that for now there's no changes coming to the rotation. I think considering how I think Sean Manaea's been, and we do have Myers in the bullpen that could potentially be a starter as well. There are options to go to if the time comes where Peterson just is not getting it right. So I think like maybe after another start or two and he's still not pitching well, then I think that decision will be made. But we have to kind of, can't wait too long. You don't want it to get, too bad. So yeah, I think I'll give it another start or two before that kind of concern is overwhelming for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Tom?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I just I kind of agree with Mendy. Like, I'm not ready to shake up the rotation like just yet. Like, a part of me just feels like a lot of the woes we're seeing out of a lot of these players is just because it's really cold. And I'm going to just kind of give it to that one because it's not comfortable standing outside. and having to play a baseball game, especially when you're standing around a little bit. It makes it really hard to even just grip the ball. So especially when you're pitching and you're trying to, make your pitches, your grip on the ball actually really does matter. And Peterson's, a lot of his pitches just look flat. He's not able to keep them down. They're barreling him up. Like, it's just, I don't know what else you could say. He's having a really rough start to what is a contract year, because this is the year that you're expecting him to show out because he's looking to play for a new deal next year. And I probably am right there with you, Nicole. I'd probably just give him one more start. And if he looks like this, maybe you consider putting Manaea in his spot going forward. But like, I don't know how much that excites me either. Because I kind of like what we've been talking about over these last couple of weeks. I like Manaea in the role that he's in. I don't know if you're not just doing this same thing with David Peterson with Sean Manaea, where you're taking him out after 3-4 innings and you're putting in Tobias Myers to just be the piggyback. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It really sucks because I really like David Peterson, but I mean, 2 starts in a row was really freaking rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that bodes the question for me personally. I mean, do we have a David Peterson problem? I think we do, because if you're going to go ahead and just take what we're seeing in front of us, he had a good, strong first half last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since then, David Peterson has had like a 6 ERA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing, is that we have to start. Sometimes recency bias is not okay, but when you're talking about pitching and the quality of your starts, you have to start following the trend lines. And his trend lines have been bad for a very, very long time now.
Yeah.
Where it's now you have to look at it like, is he in a rut, or is this more who he is in regards to being inconsistent as a pitcher, or just an average guy? Because when you're an average pitcher, you're going to have some good outings where you're shutting the door and you only gave up 2 runs, right? But you're also going to have these games where you get the doors blown off of you and you can't even finish 3 innings. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the definition of average, and that's who David Peterson has always been, in my opinion. So for people to go ahead and I understand how people can be able to just say, well, he was an all-star. He was an all-star for the first half of his season. If all-stars were picked for the totality of the year, he wouldn't be one. So we have to start thinking about, is he good enough to be able to stay in a 5-man rotation? We're not talking about a 6-man. We're talking about a 5-man rotation. Is his stuff good enough to stay? And according to what we've been seeing from all the other starters in the rotation, the answer is no. You might have to stay with him because you're trying to give your young guys a lot more time to develop, So, I don't think Tong is not ready. None of those guys down there are ready right now. So you're going to have to stick with him. But I don't think that they're sticking with him because they necessarily want to. I think right now they're kind of stuck with sticking with him until the cavalry arrives and they're confident that those guys are ready to step in.
I kind of agree with you, but I personally just think that the team as a whole has more faith in the players that they put together. And what I've noticed is the team isn't as reactionary as fans are. You know what I mean? Like the second that we see a guy floundering, we want to see him out of there. Like put someone else in, give someone else that's his start. Something like that. They still they see these guys every day. They know what they're capable of, and they're less likely to just pull the plug, especially when he's only made 3 starts. Again, 2 of those starts are really bad. Like today was abysmal, but I feel like David Peterson is somewhere in the middle, and I feel like David Peterson is a prototypical 4 or 5 starter. If Senga's going to consistently show what he's been over the last couple of starts, we're going to rely on him more than David Peterson. I'm especially like you said, because the Mets really don't have any other options. I think they're like, look, David, you're going to have to figure this out. And we're not backing up. We're not going to totally give up on you, because they really don't have that luxury right now. like right this minute.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the end of the day, too, remember he's in a walk year, right? So this is one of those things where it's like, if you're looking like this in a walk year and it's still early, so it's
Way
not
early.
you're not going to write him off completely, but it is very concerning that you are. It looks like to me that he's tipping his pitches, and the thing with David Peterson in his career is that once the wheels start coming off the rails, he can't get back on.
He's Mike Pelfrey.
Yeah, he's not a guy that can be able to course correct himself. And that's a concern for a team that is still trying to find itself offensively. If you can't rely on a guy to even be able to figure out what his mechanics are in real time to be able to course correct himself, it's not a guy that you want to rely on. But as you said, if you're looking at it more as a fifth starter, then as a fifth starter, you're going to go ahead and have these throwaway games, but you really don't want to keep throwing away games early on, especially because your starting pitching is not producing. So that's my concern. Outside of that, I mean, look, it is what it is. You know, the offense is not always gonna be consistent or hitting and all that other stuff, but just didn't like what I've seen from Peterson today, and I haven't liked what I've seen from Peterson for a very long time. So I'm not. I don't think I'm hyperbolic. I was just early.
Yeah. Question for both of you though. So let's say we get to I don't know who his next start is necessarily going to be against, but let's say he makes his next start and it's kind of similar to what we've seen now. Maybe he pitches a little bit better, but for the most part, we would all consider as a bad start. His following start, if the Mets are going to make the move to skip his start or replace him in the rotation, who would you rather see take that spot or gives him a better chance to win that game? Would you rather see it be Shulman or Tobias Myers?
I would give it to I would give it because of the opportunity. I would give it to Manaea to see what he does. I would rather give it to Manaea because the thing is, the reason why I say that is because not saying that Tobias doesn't fall under this particular position too, but Peterson has worked out of the bullpen in his career as well.
Yeah.
So it's not unfamiliar to him that if you go ahead and put him in the bullpen, he's not going to be able to deal with that. He's pitched pretty well out of the bullpen in his career, right? So that's not something that would concern me, and that might be an option for the Mets to go look at if he does continue to struggle as a starter to be able to give you long innings. Maybe he's not that guy anymore. Maybe he just needs to be able to throw his stuff in a few innings and go from there. So that's how I'm looking at it.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moving on. What are we thinking about Freddie Peralta? The reason why I ask is because I've seen a lot of noise around Freddie Peralta. I've heard, and I'm not even saying specifically that it's warranted, because it's not warranted. But you have some people saying, oh, well, he right now has like a 4.8 ERA. He's supposed to be the ace. And I'm just like, it's early, one, but two, there's been a lot of bad luck for Freddie as well. I mean, like, think about it. Even in that game where he gave up the runs, that was yesterday, right? Brazaban comes up and he attacked he's given the three runs. And that situation, I think it's very important that if Freddie is your guy, isn't there something that you need to make guys figure it out too? Instead of always continuing to go to your bullpen when a guy looks like he doesn't have it anymore. Like there's a reason why they call him 5-inning Freddie, but can you be able to give him some opportunity to work out of those things and see if he can be able to get out of a jam?
What do you think, Nicole?
I would say because obviously yesterday I was there and he was pitching great up until I think definitely he would have been able to work out of it if his pitch count wasn't, I think it was 101 at that point, but also too, he only needed in the moment, I think it was one or two outs, I forget what was at the moment, but because it is early in the season, it is your ace, So do you want to kind of see like if he's able to work out of it? I think you should be able to depend on him to be able to get out of a situation like that. And also too, like he wasn't pitching bad at all. Like when you said like, oh, he has a 4, I didn't even think of that he had that.
Didn't
Like
even
he
realize it.
yeah. So I don't know. I feel like if it wasn't for the pitch count, I feel like 101 was a bit high to kind of push it. But you know, I think that Mendoza should have confidence in him. I think he does have confidence in him to kind of go through those innings, go through those issues if they were to come up. But and I feel like maybe just too early in the season in pitch count to kind of do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I kind of agree with you. I agree. I think mostly it was because of the pitch count, because like they see it getting closer and closer to 100, and you just know that they're going to be coming out of games. Like you're going to like we see no hitters get taken away from pitchers because their pitch count gets really high. Like they have no reason to not pull them out. But I especially think when Freddie looked like he was a little gassed and he started losing command of the strike zone, and those pitches weren't as crisp as they were early on in the game. He got himself into a lot of trouble, and we mentioned it off air. I don't know what it is now, but the Mets had the second best bullpen ERA in baseball. I think it was behind Atlanta, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll find it from SNY. But when you have an offense that is going cold, just because, again, I'm chalking a lot of these issues the Mets have up to the fact that they're playing in ridiculously cold weather for baseball. Like baseball should not be played in this weather.
Yeah.
So I'm chalking a lot of that up to that, and I think we're going to see the bats and a lot more come to life once we start getting like warmer weather. But when you're struggling to score runs, you want to try to stop the bleeding, go bring in the guys that have been reliable for you most of the year, and they got to go get outs, So I didn't really blame Mendoza for bringing in a reliever and not letting Freddie work his way through it, because if Freddie doesn't work his way through it, and basically the same thing that happened with Brazaban happens, like, what are we talking about here? Like, maybe we left Freddie in too long. Maybe you should have taken. We're having a different conversation. Maybe, look, he didn't have it. He threw a lot of pitches. Maybe you should have taken him out. I think it was kind of like a lose-lose for Mendoza. If anything, anything bad happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's just like, for me, I'm just one of those guys that it's just like, well, what makes 101 high? Especially for an ace, like what makes 101 high?
But I did that for everybody now. Like that's baseball.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's silly. It's like, you have a guy that may have the ability to like get out of jams, and you're putting this cap on them, this uniform cap on a guy that might be able to go a little extra to be able to get those outs. That's something that's just my gripe with it.
Can I play a little devil's advocate?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm really sorry. But so I kind of sort of agree with you, but I think we do see that when you overextend these pitchers a lot, it winds up negatively affecting them down the road. I mean, we just got done talking about David Peterson and how David Peterson was an all-star for the first half of last year. After we got back from the all-star break, all we heard was that David Peterson was having some arm fatigue because he had been throwing more innings than he's ever thrown in his entire career. So
yeah, but I think Freddie doesn't have that problem, because Freddie is gone 180. I think he was 180 last year.
Well, I understand that, yeah, but I'm sure that they did that to him because they decided to they manage his innings. I mean, I looked at his game logs, and I think you can count on two hands and maybe two toes the amount of times he's gone over 6 in his entire career so far. For the most part, the guy comes out in the 5th, 6th. That's it. He's lucky if we're going 6 innings with him. I
just personally think it's silly. That's my whole thing. It's a personal gripe with me, and I don't like that. I just think that this uniform thing. Oh, he was 100 pitches. You gotta get out of the game now. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I wish they wouldn't do that, but it is what it is. You brought up something, Silent Assassin. Steve Cohen had some interesting comments.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even say interesting, but it was based off of something that was happening at the game that didn't end up happening really. So can you go more in depth with that, please?
Yeah, so obviously yesterday and today they changed the games due to weather. They put it 4:10 instead of 7 clock start. And so the Mets like send out emails and notifications like, oh, we're giving out like a few complimentary tickets, first come, first serve. And those tickets like sold out relatively quickly, and I was able to get some of them. And people were like also complaining, like, "Oh, they're in the nosebleeds." Like, well, it's a free ticket. Like, what do you want it to be? Like,
You thought you was
behind
gonna
home
get
plate?
behind catcher? Like, what we doing?
Yeah. So they were up in the 500s, like a few of the sections, and apparently, Steve Cohen had tweeted out like, "Oh, so I gave out some complimentary tickets. Like, guess how many people actually, use those tickets or not?" And he's like, 58% of the people that got the tickets didn't even show up. So he was kind of obviously clearly upset about that. Like, you give out a free thing and kind of people take advantage of it, like, oh, it's free, let me just get it. And they know that they can't even show up and kind of take the opportunity away from somebody else.
Right.
But like fans and people have kind of been at him for it, which I'm not really necessary with. Like, he gave out something for free, and people, whatever, for the reason, just decided to take the tickets, didn't want to show up, couldn't show up, whatever the case may be. But I saw Craig on the fan. He said like it was
That he's lost the team,
yeah,
basically.
which is like in like tone deaf comments and stuff like that, but over, you give up free tickets, but clearly going to make money with the parking and the concessions. Like, if the ticket's free or not, like a fan is going to go there and have to pay for parking and have to pay for beers and whatever the case may be. Like, it has nothing to do with that aspect of it. At least I don't think. It's just because he tried to do something good, and they're saying like, oh, that they only did that kind of to compete with the Yankees because the Yankees didn't change the time of the game, and more fans showed up to the Yankee game than the Met game. It's like clearly just people just don't want to see the Mets because they're the Mets and all this stuff.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. People are like, oh, he needs to stay off Twitter and keep his mouth shut because he's just ruining, making himself look bad for the team and with the fans and whatnot. But it was just like a stupid kind of situation. Like, I mean, now we're never gonna probably get that situation again where we get free tickets, but I had a good time. I enjoyed the free tickets, so thank you, Steve Cohen.
I'm happy that you cashed in, because here's the thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, it was very cold yesterday, so maybe a lot of people was like, listen, I ain't going because it's cold. But at the end of the day, if you got people that are complaining about something free, and then they'll go ahead and complain about the ticket prices being too high, then they'll complain about parking being too high, then they'll complain about this, you're always going to have a section of this fan base that is just fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you do, they're always going to find a reason to be able to say something. And people like Craig Carton, who claim that they're a Mets fan, but they're not, they'll go ahead and go say stupid shit. And then everybody likes to be in their echo chamber. So, of course, if you're a miserable Mets fan, you're going to find miserable content that's going to make yourself feel better. Because at the end of the day, he still doesn't have a dome on the thing. Well, once he gets your money for that casino, then we'll be able to get our roof. You know what I'm saying? So for all you Met fans that are complaining about something free, then don't go. Don't go. Stay your ass at home. Watch the game on your couch. Shut the hell up and don't worry about it. Because if you are one of those people that didn't even go out for the free tickets, then what the fuck do you care? This is the whole point. Like, I loathe the side of this fan base that behaves like idiots. I really do. Like, I understand that we're supposed to be in this together. I am not one of those people. Any Met fan that talks nonsense to me, I look at you like you have 9 heads and I walk the other way. I'm good. Just because we have the same logo on our hat don't mean that we're the same, because there's some of y'all that I just can't deal with. So, Tom, you go ahead and take it, because that's all I got.
I think my biggest beef is just that, like, people went out and claimed these tickets and didn't go, and like there's definitely people that would have taken those tickets and wanted them. Yeah, I think speaking of WFAN, I think somebody called and said that they tried to get the tickets, but they were all sold out. He's like, I tried to go, but I couldn't get them. As far as Craig Carton goes, I need everybody to understand. I get into fights with my dad about this. everybody about this.
I'm ready to listen.
Craig Carton is a radio personality. He's supposed to say things that gets you so mad that it gets all of like, I don't know. Have you guys ever called into WFAN? I never have.
No.
He says those things, so one of us calls in and can add to the content. That's why I'm sure he believes a little bit of it. I'm sure he believes some of the stuff that he says. I don't doubt it.
I got 2 words for that, Tom. He's a shock jock. That's the definition of what he does.
But that's what you're supposed to do that in radio. Say things that you kind of sort of mean, but might be a little exaggerated, so you can get people to call in and make your show interesting and like keep the content going. That's just what radio is. So he gets me sometimes, but most of the time I'm like, oh damn it, I'm not doing it. I'm not calling you today. But no, I totally understand what Steve Cohen's saying. I do understand why people are upset because he's, again, Steve Cohen's going to get looked at differently because he's a billionaire who owns a baseball team and nobody's going to really ever take his side. That's just kind of the way it is. So anytime he says something, there's going to be a lot of backlash to it, but he's right. He gave out a bunch of free tickets. Everybody bitches about how expensive, like you said, Barry, everybody bitches about how expensive it is to go to a sporting event in New York. He gave it to you for free.
And you didn't go.
Just show up. That's all you had to do. Just stay for a couple innings, get a beer, go home if you want, but show up. Use the ticket.
The thing, if more people would have showed up and showed that support, like how the Silent Assassin did, guess what would have happened after that? For games that are not so high end, he would have did it again.
Yeah, or if like let's say that in the middle of in the
dog days of summer.
Yeah, or the end of April, middle of May. There's they're like, hey, listen, we're gonna have to move the game up. It's gonna rain around 7, so we're gonna move the game up to 4:30 because there's a window that we can get this game in. Maybe he would have done the free tickets again. Maybe, you don't know.
No, I'm telling. He strikes me as a person that would do that again because again, he's a fan. Yes, he's a billionaire, but he's also a fan. Man, this man loses money on the Mets every year. This is not something that the Mets are making him money until he gets that casino. But right now he's losing money. So for him to be able to say, "Yo, listen, I just want to make sure that the fans have fun, they have a good time. I'm going to go ahead and give out these comp tickets," and you still complain. It's just like, dude, like this is why people can't even. Yeah, it's just like stop. Just enough with the bitching, man. I'm over it.
Also, I did find out that I think I heard it on WFAN. I might have seen an article about it. Did you know that it was New York State was the one that is the main reason why we don't have a dome over Citi Field? Back when they first put in the plans for Citi Field, the plans were to have a retractable dome to avoid rainouts, but the state said that because of the unstable soil conditions beneath the stadium, it was going to cost extra money to reinforce it to put the dome over it, so they denied it. They said no.
That is just a cheap way or a very, very roundabout way to say that we just don't want to pay for it.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, look, I mean, I'm sure that they were allocating a bunch of, tax dollars to get it done, and they probably didn't want to pay anymore. And, that was the Wilpons back then. So
that's exactly why. Like Wilpons were, oh, well, look, the state told us that bullshit. That's exactly. I don't believe not a word of that if it came from the Wilpons' mouth. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Well, no, but I mean, it is true. But I mean, it is true that the state was like, no, we're not approving that. Because they did that with MetLife too. MetLife, they were going to put a dome on it, but I think Jersey. I mean, they just mimic whatever New York State does anyway. They said, no, you're not doing that.
Unbelievable. This is why we hate Jersey. Anyway, moving on. Pedro Martinez. How do we feel about Pedro right here? I love Pedro.
Oh, can't not love Pedro.
How can you not love Pedro? The man came here. What was that? 05? 05?
04. 05. Yeah, no, it's 05 because 04 was when they won the World Series.
I want to come here and change the dynamic of the Mets. And anybody who does that, you're always going to have I always have a sore spot for you. But he did say something that I didn't necessarily disagree with. I didn't. His comments, and I have it here. He said the Mets do not have that kind of chemistry. Management needs to find someone who's going to connect with those players and force them to play to the top of their abilities. This is why sometimes I make certain comments towards Mr. Mendoza because I think he's a good manager. I don't necessarily believe that he's a bad manager, but there's a difference between being a good manager that can get you to a certain point and having a great manager and a great communicator that can be able to crack through that ceiling to get you to where you need to be. My personal opinion, and I always say that I'm a truth teller, and a lot of times I say things and I'm just early. I like Mendoza. I think he's a nice man. I don't believe that he's a World Series manager. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. He reminds me of a version of Aaron Boone. And Aaron Boone hasn't, last time I checked, hasn't won a World Series. So again, for me, this is just me. Anybody can be able to feel different. I like Mendoza. I think the players like him. I think the players may like him a little too much, in my opinion. There's a likeness there, but in regards to an authoritarian that might need to have a different communication style with his players or be able to get his players ready a different way, I don't think Mendy's that guy. That's my opinion. And if a guy like Pedro Martinez is saying it, the old school guy that has had certain coaches in his career, he's had Terry Francona. He knows what good managers look like and managers that can be able to crack through a particular ceiling to get you to that promised land. So this is not somebody that's just speaking out of no experience. You know what a good manager looks like. For my opinion, Buck was like that. Buck had that. Now, was Buck always a guy that couldn't get through? Yeah, but if you mix Buck's personality and some of Mendy's you get the manager that you want. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And for right now, Mendy is just not the guy for me, but I hope I'm wrong. Who wants to take it can take it.
I was just gonna say, like, dating even back from last year, I feel like he just doesn't take that accountability, if it makes sense. Like, every time that there was a press conference or something, it was always kind of like the same type of script that, like, we have a good team, but we're just not having results. And that was kind of like the thing that I always heard, and not like, hey, like, we suck, we need to get better. Like that famous Terry Collins interview. Like, you want to kind of see that, like a manager calling out, like, nobody's safe here. Don't care who you are. If you're not producing, then you're not playing.
You gotta go. Yeah.
And I feel like, there were just too many times where, maybe to kind of show like something that, like, oh, like, maybe let me just bench this guy because, it'll bring a statement to the team. I haven't really seen that. I feel like just maybe he's just overly too nice to the players. At least that's what he shows off to us, and not really, like, clearly we don't know what's going on behind the scenes in the clubhouse. He could be different, but it's not that type of, clearly you don't have to be fearful of your manager, but you want to know, like, when times do come that he can step up and kind of be that guy. And I agree, like, I don't really necessarily have seen that from him. I feel like he just wants to be too likable, which is not a bad thing, but there comes a time where it's like, okay, you have to kind of step up and kind of call some guys out despite, no matter who they are. So, I like him, but I think there's definitely times where he's kind of has to kind of put the foot down and kind of be the manager of the Mets and kind of make hard decisions.
I don't know. I still really like Mendy. I think a lot of it is also
we all like Mendy.
I think a lot of it is also that, like, this is still like essentially a brand new team. These are a lot of guys that haven't really played together all that much. So you're not going to, like, immediately get that chemistry right out of spring training when everybody's basically playing at half speed, and then through how many games are we? 10 games in?
11, something
like that.
10 or 11. Yeah. So this is something that, especially if it's a new team, it's going to be cultivated over the span of a season. Guys are learning how to play with each other. Guys are learning their different vibes and their different personalities. So, like, I think it's going to take some time. And Barry, I know you might hate me for what I'm about to say.
I'll never hate you, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have to breathe when I say this. I would sign up for Carlos Mendoza to be Aaron Boone.
Oh my god! What?
Aaron Boone. Look, I hate the Yankees. I hate Yankee fans. Aaron Boone every single year has his team 90 wins or more in the playoffs. I do not know a world in which the Mets make the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. Like, we're lucky if we make the playoffs. Like, it's like what I said. It's like what I said in the offseason. I want to win a World Series as bad as anybody. The Mets haven't won a World Series in my lifetime, either of our lifetimes. You know, Mets haven't won a World Series. We don't have the luxury of saying World Series or bust. We don't have the luxury of having the mentality of the of a delusional Yankee fan, because we don't have that success. We're a team that we have to just hope we make the playoffs and let's see what happens. You know, so if you're going to tell me that Carlos Mendoza is going to be a manager that's going to consistently win over 90 games, consistently have his team being like, you know what, I can see them winning a World Series. I could see them making it to a World Series. If that's what Carlos Mendoza is going to be, I'll sign up for it. Let me get to the point. Let me just get to the point where I'm like, you know what? The NLCS is just not enough. A World Series appearance just isn't enough. I'm not at that point yet because I don't see it. You know, I've seen the Mets in the World Series in 2000 and 2015. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, the Yankees are in the playoffs every year. Like, it's not even like close your eyes. Wait, you can wake up in August. You can wake up in September. You can wake up in October. Yankees are going to be playing meaningful games. We're kind of lucky if the Mets do. You know?
I'm going to give you an analogy, and you're going to be like, okay, now I get it. Remember when you were in school?
Yeah.
And your original teacher, you know, has a reputation of being a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their P's and Q's. Everybody make sure that they get to class on time. Make sure that you have your homework ready and on the desk, because the teacher says don't have your homework in the folder. I need it to be on the desk so I can be able to pick up that paper and keep it moving down the road. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever happens to that when that teacher misses a day and there's a substitute teacher?
Nobody takes that teacher seriously.
You see where I'm getting at?
No. I'm slow. It's late at night.
Carlos Mendoza is the substitute teacher.
He was able to...
You like him, right? Because, again, we all are in agreement here. We like Mendy. I don't hate Mendy. Neither does Silent Assassin. But when you're talking about somebody who is trying to be the spearhead of this and trying to get everybody to be serious, and you don't take him as seriously as the other person does, or, you know what I mean? Like how you take the other person, there's a disconnect in regards to your preparation.
Mm-hmm. You
need somebody to be able to get you ready the right way. Right? This is New York. I don't care what our history is. We are building our own history now. Yeah. Whatever the LOL Mets were, or the Mets that couldn't, I don't give a shit about none of that. I want somebody to come in like that. Listen, whatever the Mets were before I got here, I don't care. I don't care about, like, I respect the history in regards to the 86 Mets, all these people. I respect the Trailblazers, but damn it, we are going to do this a different way. We are going to make sure that these players are prepared and ready to play every friggin' game. No excuses, all accountability. And if guys are not like managing their weight or holding their weight, then we got to make decisions on them. That's what I'm talking about, is that there's too much of a laid back mentality with him. And when you have a laid back mentality, when the team does go on slides, where do you think the leadership is coming from? If the top of the food chain is laid back, who's going to actually push the team the way it's supposed to? Because let's go ahead and just put this in perspective and we'll move on. That team last year wasn't bad, right? But they had nobody that was going to be able to slam a desk, throw something over, and say, damn it, We need accountability from every single one of them. What we heard was the same message from everybody. They were all reading from the same fucking script, and we never got any anger or any aggression or any sense of urgency from that entire team. And it started with your manager. Sometimes you need a manager that's going to be level-headed, but just like Silent Assassin said, in some aspects, you need somebody to be able to say, wake the hell up. Wake the hell up, or there's going to be massive changes that happen. That's all I'm saying, is that he doesn't have that in him. He's a nice guy. You could be able to win with him, just like how the Yankees can win with Aaron Boone. But is Aaron Boone good enough to be able to push through that ceiling? No, he's not, because he's not that authoritarian that can be able to get them past that point. That's all I'm saying, is that he's good. He's not good enough to get you there. That's what I mean.
I don't know. I get why. I mean, Mendy's got to do it to prove you wrong. Yeah. Mendy's got to do it. I am gonna give him a little bit of a pass for last year, simply because Mendy was grasping at straws to try to put a pitching staff together with how many injuries they were dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, the Mets were not just like there were reasons that the Mets fell apart last year. I mean, some of it I'll put on Mendy Shore. Some of it I'm going to put on the players just not performing, because
it's not just one person.
Exactly. It's not just one person. I'm just like, I personally believe Pedro's comments are less about Mendy himself and more about that there's no chemistry in the locker room. And I think that the reason that is the case is because that these guys are still all relatively new playing with each other.
I don't think that Pedro, knowing a clubhouse and talking about the Mets and how he always supports the Mets, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that he's talking about this year. I think that he tried to be cute about his comments without necessarily calling one person out, right? That's what I think it was, is that you can read between the lines what he's saying without necessarily him saying it.
I guess so. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even then, like, I still think all of the clubhouse stuff from last year is overblown. Like, I don't know how connected Pedro is to the Mets anymore.
No, we're not even talking about the clubhouse stuff. I'm talking about I don't think he's mentioning the clubhouse stuff. I think he's talking about Mendy. That's what I'm saying, is that he looks at the Mets like, this is a talented team. What's holding them back? Is it chemistry? Is it this? Is it clubhouse issues? Is it no sense of urgency? No, it's more about, you need to have someone that can be able to lead them the way they need to be led, is what he said.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I understand.
That has everything to do with who is at the top of the food chain, and that's Carlos Mendoza. That's all I'm saying. So
no, I agree.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope he could be able to shut me up, right? But a lot of times, I'm just early. I'm just early. That's all it is. So moving on. Are we in love with Mark Vientos again? Is this what it is? Are we in love with Swaggy V again? Like, I just want to ask a question. I'm gonna throw it to Silent Assassin, because that's our guy. That's our guy. So you go ahead, Silent Assassin. You go ahead and take it. I'm just asking the question. So you go ahead and give me your opinion.
Yeah, I believe a couple weeks ago, I think it was the season kickoff show, I did say that I still believe in Mark Vientos.
Yes, you did. And I shamed you for
it. Yeah. No, but like, clearly he's been so far the best, hottest hitter on the team to start the year. Obviously, he had a few. He didn't play in the first few games, and then kind of came off the bench, and then now is kind of getting his time to shine, and every game he's pretty much come through in some sort of way. So I'm just happy for him. Hopefully this continues as long as possible. People are saying that it's the JD Martinez effect.
Yeah.
The kind of having him back with the team this year, and Mark Vientos is doing well. And because we are obviously really we talked about it during spring training and his time in the World Baseball Classic, he was just nothing. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this might be it. But I still had that little ounce of hope inside, and I believe that, it's working out so far. So, yeah, I want nothing but the best for Mark this year. Ever since he's come up, I just felt like a little soft spot for him. Like, oh, like I want this guy to do well, and
Yeah.
he's had his ups and downs, but I'm always going to be a Mark Vientos fan. I hope his senior season continues to flourish, and that's obviously having that lineup just be deeper is obviously just always in the Mets' favor, because we weren't really too sure what Mark Vientos was going to be able to provide this year. So having just like another bat in the lineup like that is just so good to have. He has high 20, home run capabilities, probably even 30 home run capabilities.
40.
Yeah. So and he's okay in the field. I know that there was like a little mishap today where he dropped the pop up in foul territory, and the next time it went up and kind of the fans booed him and then cheered him, and he's kind of like making cheering on the fans like, oh, like come on, whatever. Yeah, I'm just very happy for him and what he's been doing so far.
Tom?
Yeah, no, I honestly, I believe in Mark Vientos again simply because of how good he's been playing at first base. Like, I am totally shocked that he just looks so comfortable at first base, and like I have no doubt that he's going to pick it when he has to pick it, that he's going to make a diving stop when he needs to make a diving stop. I mean, maybe that says something about what we've gotten used to at first base over the years. So I don't know.
Yep.
Like the bar was set pretty low, but
Yep.
he's doing a really good job. And what I'm kind of hoping is like Mark Vientos is one of those guys that like when he's feeling himself, he can really get going. If he excels at first base, once the weather starts warming up and he has that confidence to be like, no, okay, this is my spot. This is where I'm going to be. Maybe that translates and we actually see that bat continue, because he was a little cold in this past series. But again, I'm attributing a lot of these low numbers and these issues to the freezing cold temperatures in the Northeast. That's what I'm attributing a lot of this to. I expect this team to look better once it warms up. But no, I love Mark Vientos again. I'm all on board. I feel bad for Beatty because I think his playing time at first should get sacrificed a little bit. But because I just want Mark to take that spot and run with it right now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, defensively, that's the what has impressed me the most. And then second is not even the offense. It's the fact that he's having fun again.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. If that happened to Mark Vientos last year, where he dropped something, he dropped the ball, in foul territory, you don't see that reaction from him. You get that, maybe shoulder shrug, head down. He's now second guessing what's going on because the confidence was just not there. He's having fun. And somebody probably got to him. Maybe it was JD and just said, yo, kid, come on, you're playing a kid's game and you're getting paid to do it. Like, have fun. Because if you don't succeed here, you're going to be good enough to be somewhere else. You're not going to be out of baseball. So just make sure you just put your talent out there, put everything out there, balls to the wall, and just have fun again. And that's what you're seeing. And that's what I enjoy the most from seeing from him, because, Brett Beatty plays with such passion. I want everybody to be like Brett Beatty. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that kid just loves baseball, right? Lindor loves baseball. Juan Soto loves baseball. Like those guys, you can feel it when they're out there. And now you're seeing Mark Vientos having that type of emotion, smiling, right? Those are things that you want to see from your players, because that's when they're in a good spot. So that's what I love. And I always believe, again, I was first, just very early on this, that I always believe when he came up, I said, I don't think that Mark Vientos is a third baseman. I don't think that he's a third baseman. I always thought that he graded better at first base for me. I always thought that with the power, the fact that he doesn't have that much range, he would always convert well to first base if he can be able to get it. And if he can be able to really hone in those skills, go call Keith Hernandez. Y'all go work on some stuff, put Keith in a chair and have him just school you on the field and be able to teach you the nuances of first base. those are things like when you got legends like that right there, you can be able to really, really get better and just practice and focus and determination. So I'm really happy for him. I've been very, very critical of Mark Vientos for the last year and change. And, I want him to prove me wrong. I am one of those people. I'm going to be the guy on the show to be able to say outlandish shit. And I hope that I get proven wrong. I want people to say, that Barry guy is absolutely insane. But look what happened. You got to walk it back now. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being wrong, because if I'm wrong, then that means that our team is better, that our team is playing well, and guys are producing. That's all I care about at the end of the day. So shout out to Mark Vientos for figuring it out, man. And like you said, there's a cold front in the Northeast right now. We don't like it. That shit needs to warm up, because we trying to go with some baseball games and support. That's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. I care about nothing else.
Looks like this 53 on Sunday. I don't know.
53 ain't bad.
53 is not bad. I think I'm going on Sunday.
What's the wind nowadays? Is it a heavy wind?
I don't know. Weatherbug doesn't say. It just tells me the temperature and if it's going to be sunny or not.
Okay.
So that's the next game I'm going to. I bought the Amazing Pass, so I'll probably be there on Sunday.
Mr. Show off, huh?
Couldn't help it.
Mr. Show off,
best deal in baseball. No free ads. We're not that is not a paid ad from the Mets.
Oh my goodness. Question: Are we? I mean, this is a yearly thing for us since the man has been here. Are we concerned about Lindor?
No.
I gotta ask.
He's said so many times since he's been here that he just hates the cold. Yeah. So if there's anybody that's not having fun right now, it's him.
Yeah, dude, if you notice, right, when it's really cold, he goes to go put the hoodie on and all that stuff. He really does hate the cold. He's a Puerto Rican kid. Like, what do you expect?
Well, he probably hates like March, April cold. October cold, it feels like he turns on another, like he flips a switch.
That's what you call winning cold right there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Yeah, that's winning cold. We don't give a damn how cold it is out here. I'm trying to get to the World Series. We don't care about that.
I am not worried about Lindor at all. I think once the weather starts warming up and Lindor gets going, it's off to the races.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to it's gonna last too long, in my opinion. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it's early in the season. Like, what do I care if a guy bats 150 in the first 10 games of the season? Who cares? Like, who cares? Especially when you're a superstar. When you're a fringe guy, right? When you're guys like Carson Bench, right? Let me go ahead and go stay there in my chair a little bit. When you up there like Carson Bench and you're a young guy, why can't we have no damn Connor Griffins? We got to get guys like Carson Bench that hitting 100 right now. Get it together, kid. I like you. But can we get a Connor Griffin? Do we have one of those guys? Huh? I don't like it. I don't like seeing other teams happy to the point where we know that this kid is going to be so good and we're going to give him 9 years, 140 million just out the gate. Out the gate. There's nobody on our team that we can give that type of money to. I don't like it.
Well, we can't do that.
Yes, we can.
No, we can't. Nobody's going to take that from us. The Mets aren't going to do that. We're a big market team. Little guys do that. We can do
it if we had one. We ain't got no Connor Griffin. We don't have one.
No,
Carson
I guess
is not Connor Griffin.
No, he's not
even Mike Conforto.
Time out.
He's not Mike Conforto.
He's a child. It's freezing out. The highest he's ever played in is AA. Like, he's got to take some time to get used to the ropes of the majors. Not everybody's Pete Alonso who's going to come up and just hit a bajillion home runs.
I don't want him to hit a bajillion home runs, Tom.
He almost hit the walk-off last night. If it wasn't for the wind, he probably walks that game off.
How has he looked? Has he looked better in right field?
I think he's been fine.
He's been fine on the court. He looks good. He looks good in all outfield positions, in my opinion.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just teasing the guy. I will tease certain people at certain times this season. Carson Bench is going to be one of those guys. I'm just like, get it together. All right, just do something. Okay.
What month? When? How long into the season do we start until we start having the conversation of should he get sent down?
Man, that's a good question. I think there must be a barometer for everybody, right? Like, how long is like, okay, this is this is your cutoff for Queens Get the Money. Is it a month? A month is a good sample size, right?
For me, like for an offensive player, is like a month. I would say.
What about you, Tom? A month?
I'd probably say if he's still looking like he can't catch up to Major League pitching come like middle of May. I'd say middle of May before June, just before June. If he still doesn't look like he's catching up, then you should send him down, let him get some at-bats in AAA.
Yeah, because you know what it is? He's not like my man, Ronnie. You see what Ronnie did? First at bat, game winning hit. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I love Ronnie so much that I don't want anybody to get hurt. I love my players on this team, but I need Ronnie to get opportunities. I need Ronnie to get more opportunities because the kid is special. He's special. I see it. I see it, and I want to see it more. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't need any what's his name? Polanco. I like him, but I'd rather give me Mauricio. Give me Mauricio and put Polanco's ass on the bench. I'd rather that. Okay, I'd rather that. So, is there any other topics that we're going over? Is there anything else that we need to cover?
I just think it was the funniest thing in the world when I think I have this timeline right. When Mendy in the first game pinch hit Jared Young for Mark Vientos. And I think you sent something in all caps to the group chat, like, I hate this or something like that. Jared Young immediately produces. I was like,
listen, it wasn't just me. You should have saw Twitter. Everybody was
yeah.
Jared Young, what is happening here? What?
But that's one of those, maybe, I mean, it's one of those moments where, like, if it doesn't work out, we're killing Mendy. And because it does work out, he gets a lot of praise. Like, that's one of those things that I always give him. Like, every once in a while, Mendy's got that, like, knack for just, like, doing something that neither one of us would have ever thought to do. No. And then it works out. And it's like, Mendy, you're like a genius. You know what it is? It's those goddamn glasses. They were losing yesterday. They were losing all day yesterday. Diamondbacks took the lead yesterday. No, he did. Later in the game, as the game went on, when the Mets turned around, they flashed to the dugout. Mendy's got the glasses on.
So somebody has to tell him, you better keep these glasses on.
Staple them to his head. Just like staple them, duct tape them, super glue them.
Do something.
Those glasses can't leave Mendy's head. And if he's wearing sunglasses, they better fucking be prescription.
Draw them on.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to just draw them on his face. That's what he need to do. Keep those glasses on him. Okay.
Glasses Mendy equals wins.
Yeah. Listen, glasses, Gary Cohen. A skull cap Gary Cohen, and I need glasses Mendy. That's what I need. Mm-hmm. That's what I need. You know what I mean? That's what I need. Metropolitan Report is in here. Mets playing good ball as of late. They are playing good ball. You know what I mean? Like, but we're doing a show. We have to we gotta nitpick things. We gotta make sure that we're going ahead and dissecting stuff as much as possible. Mendy still needs to manage pitching better, though. Yes, he does, but he's not doing too bad today. Leave starters in too long. Well, leave starters in too long. I think he needs to let them go. Let them go a little more. I'm old school, right? 135 pitches. Let him pitch. Okay, is your arm hurting? Okay, now you come out. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Am I crazy to think that, like, in David Peterson's case, like, when he's given up all these, like, if it got to an insurmountable lead, like if it got to like 7-0, are you still more inclined to just be like, dude, I don't want to burn my bullpen?
Just let him keep pitching.
Figure it the hell out. Absolutely. Just figure it the hell out. We'll get him tomorrow.
That's what I was kind of like. I wasn't going there fully, but that was kind of like my mindset as well. Is that if the game is already going off the rails, it's already looking like, let him just pitch through it. Stop. Don't burn your bullpen so much because guys can't stretch out. Force him to stretch out because he's not going to pitch another 5 days from now. So what difference does it make? You still can be able to get him to 100, but you don't necessarily have to go kill somebody else that the game might be out of reach.
Yeah, I mean, he did. David Peterson weirdly kind of figured it out after he gave up all those runs. He kind of settled in and was making his pitches.
And what that does, Tom, is that builds character. If you got a guy he doesn't have his great stuff, because we all know that even when you're a great pitcher, you're not going to have your A stuff all the time. But if you can be able to figure it out while you're pitching, that can be able to bode well for the next start because you found something in your mechanics that you said, oh, okay, so this is what I was probably doing. I might have been tipping my pitches. I might have been dropping my shoulder a little bit low. Like whatever it was, you found something because you worked through the adversity. I need that for baseball, not just for Mets, just for baseball. Just let guys figure it out more because at the end of the day, they are pitchers. You're paying them big money. Let them figure it out. I'm not saying that you're gonna throw them into situations where you're gonna hurt them, but you do need to let them figure it out a little bit more.
It's the injuries that scare them. The way pitchers are now, they're too afraid to. And obviously, especially in Freddie's case, the Mets need Freddie, so
extremely
they don't want to kill
fragile.
him.
Kim says hi. Hey all. Hi. Hi Kim. Question here. Question: what's your take on Michael Kay turning on the Yankees fans in regards to Juan Soto? You know, that's a good one. I was gonna leave it for my show tomorrow, but let's go. We're talking about Mets. Here's my opinion about it. I don't want to hear that from Michael Kay. I'm sorry. The ship has already sailed, Michael Kay. For almost 6 months, you were dragging Juan Soto on your show, talking about this and how he wants to be a Yankee, blah, blah, blah. Now when the fans are saying, yeah, Michael Kay, we agree with you, and we're going to continue to push this down because, hey, we got it from the great Michael Kay. You don't have you can't walk it back now. The cart's already out. The horses are already out of the barn. You caused this shit. So every scum Yankee fan that wants to continue to have hurt feelings, you were the one that started it. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's my take.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, just like Juan Soto obviously hasn't been a Yankee for over a year now. Like, why are they even chanting that? Like, even too, like, what's the like, he's not even in the stadium. Like, why are you just chanting? Like, there's no reason.
Styles Hassan is crazy. Here's the thing about Yankee fans that kill me, right? He wasn't your player. You didn't draft him. He wasn't a homegrown guy. He didn't demand a trade to the Yankees. You traded your you emptied your cabinet for him, right? Hoping that, oh, he's a Yankee, he's gonna go ahead and stay. And Juan Soto said, this is nice, but not for me. I'd rather go somewhere else. And you're mad that you finally had somebody who's a megastar that is probably gonna be your next great player, right? And he left you. That's what burns you. And not only just left you, but he left you for us. That's what hurts you the most. And when you hear Yankee fans go, we don't care about Met fans, we don't even pay attention to them. Yeah, you do.
Oh, well.
We live rent-free in your head. Anytime the Mets are doing well, oh, well, you guys still don't have any world champions. We don't care. We don't care. And this is why I tell people all the time, I don't hate the Yankees, right? I don't hate the culture. I don't hate the history. I like the little monument park that y'all got there with a little weird plaques that you got over there. They all look weird to me, but it's a nice ballpark. Problem is, you Yankee fans is the ones I don't like. I don't like y'all. Yankee history, I like. Derek Jeter is one of my favorite players. That Teflon Don Alex Rodriguez is one of the greats, right? Reggie Jackson, loved him. David Justice, when he was a Yankee, I love that guy, right? Love that guy. I don't like y'all, and that's the problem. So I don't want to hear nothing from Michael Kay. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody about Juan Soto. Y'all started this, and y'all can continue, and we're just not going to pay attention to it. That's all it is, because we live rent-free in your head. And he's smiling about it because he even tweeted about it, like, yo, rent-free. I'm going. I left. Okay? I with another family now. I got a new family, right? Got a new family, got new kids, and you still mad. You still mad that I'm living my best life? That's what it is.
Look, and it's also like, I know Michael Kay probably turned on Yankee fans because he probably really wanted to say that he expects that reaction from Mets fans. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he Michael Kay sits on high with his Yankee elitist mentality, and he probably really wanted to say that them chanting "fuck Juan Soto" in a game that Juan Soto wasn't even playing in he probably wanted to say he expects that from us. I totally believe that that's probably where Michael K was.
Of course, because they always look at us as scumbags. That's what they do.
Oh yeah,
we're the dregs of society when it comes to baseball.
Exactly. We're the little brothers, all that stuff. But I don't blame Michael K, only because like it is kind of dumb, but it is kind of dumb to chant "fuck Juan Soto" when he's not even playing in the game. Like, you do look like a little bit of a mental midget. I'm allowed to say that.
Little person.
Yeah, little person. Mental little person. So yeah, look, Michael K is a very he's a Yankee homer, but does like to play both sides of the fence. He likes to play both sides. That way he always comes out on top. That's how that's kind of how Michael K always is. You know? And I bet you part of him was scorned when Soto left for the Mets.
He was mad.
Because he's a Yankee guy. He grew up a Yankee fan from the Bronx, and I do have to just fight you a little bit. Yankee Stadium, it's a mausoleum in the middle of the Bronx.
Trying to be nice.
Don't be. It's a mausoleum in the middle of the Bronx. I see it.
Sometimes
I see it every week.
I don't want to be a jerk all the way. I want to give you like the nice 5% of nice. I don't want to be 100%
Be
jerk.
nice. Be nice to anybody. Oh, you know what? No, you can be nice to the Yankees. Don't be nice. I guess you can be nice.
I
to the
have
Yankees.
friends that are Yankee fans that are not scum, so I can't completely write everybody off.
You're lucky. You should hold on to those. You should hold on to those people.
Yeah, they're good people. I don't know where they come from. It's like finding a canary in a coal mine. It's not very often. Okay, needle in a haystack.
Can't stand Derek Jeter though.
What? Derek Jeter's the man. Yeah, I don't know.
I was in elementary school for the Dynasty Yankees.
That's not Jeter's fault.
I hate Derek. It is Derek Jeter's fault because all those Yankees teams did is win, and all I had to do was get bullied in school because I'm a Mets fan.
Let me tell you why I love Derek Jeter.
It is his fault.
The reason why I love Derek Jeter has nothing to do with what he did on the field. The man was such a great player on the field. 3,000 hits, all the stolen bases, the average, the World Series, all of these things. No, that's not why I appreciate Derek Jeter. It's the fact that the man used to give gift baskets to all of the girls that he used to go ahead and court. Give him gift baskets, and nobody heard anything about his behavior off the field. That's how you know the man is a sniper. And you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. And then when he retired, the man got married, settled down, had kids. This is what you want, right? That is the blueprint right there. He said, "Listen, I'm rich. I'm a bachelor in New York, and this is how we gonna get it done." That's what you call a Hall of Fame career. All right. Then what he did on the field, what he did off the field, Hall of Fame as well. So I don't know if we got anything else, but that was good. Thank you very much, Alfred Metropolitan Report. Please watch his show as well. He breaks down a lot of the Mets content. He's not too big into analytics because he's like 98 years old. Don't let the comments fool you. He's very old. So shouts to him. But you guys got anything else? I have something else. You know what time it is.
I've been waiting for it.
What I mean? Listen, I don't know how we're gonna do this today. I don't know if we're gonna put the little small box or we'll have the small boxes on the side. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's time for my favorite segment. And it's called Mets Mission to Mars, right? So who is going to be fitted for a suit today, right? I don't know if I have a lot of contestants, but there is one that got me, right? And it's not the fact that even it has anything to do with this season. There's little pockets of success here, but there's, it blew up yesterday, right? Blew up yesterday when I was watching it on my phone, right? I was like, oh, Freddie's in trouble. Who are they going to go to? And I said, Mendy, don't do it. Don't do it. If the guy you're talking about, and it wasn't Lovelady, I said, oh, okay, but there's another guy. Don't do it either. Don't go to him. And what did Mendy do? He doesn't want to listen to me, right? So he goes to the guy, Huascar Brazoban. You, my friend, are fitting your suit for a mission to Mars. because last year you were absolute garbage in the second half of the season. I don't want no parts of Huascar Braziman. When he's good, but it's very few and far between when he is good. So you see that suit in the back? You see it has the nice Met colors there. You need to go ahead and you go ask them exactly what specialties and what specifications you need on your suit, because if you keep pitching like that, you are going to be on the first thing smoking the Mars. That's all I'm saying. So you, sir, better shape up and start getting it together, get your control together, get whatever you got to do to go and get consistent, get right. Because if you don't get right, Mars. The next person. And we talked about this early in the show. I'm sorry I gotta go here, but I will tell you a story. When this guy got called up, me and my friend Bishop, and shouts to Bishop, I've known this guy for damn near 30 years. We went to a game where this guy was pitching. And I was so demonstrative in the stands. I said, you are absolute rubbish. Rubbish. I said, if this guy is gonna be on our team for the next 5 or 6 years, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And he was just like, have faith, have confidence in the guy. He's young. He's going to figure it out. Well, guess what? He still hasn't figured it out yet. And guess where he's going? And who I'm talking about is David Peterson.
Oh, listen, what a picture.
David Peterson. I am sick of David Peterson. I'm sorry to say it, okay? Everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, he was an all-star last year. Oh, he had a nice ERA. Oh, he might be our ace. I've seen there were vlogs, there were articles about, is David Peterson the ace of the staff? Absolute rubbish. What he is exactly what he was in the second half of the season and what he is now, giving up runs, looking terrible, and being able to get out of the game early. That's what he is. So if you want to get out of the game early, I have no problem with that, David Peterson. You can get out of the game early. But what you need to do is go straight to the dugout, right? Just go straight inside, go to the clubhouse, find the guy that's fitting the suits. And you say, listen, I need something that's a little bit more spacey because I need a little room because, sometimes I get a little bloated. I feel a little insecure about my weight. I need something that has a little bit more space around the sides. You need to get fitted correctly and take your ass to Mars because I'm sick of him. He needs to be off this team. I'm going to give Huascar Braziman a chance. I want no chances for David Peterson. I am done. I am waving the white flag. Okay, I want the spaceships to come get him and say, this one is defective. You guys can take him and you can figure it out. I want no parts of David Peterson. You need to go. Call in Mania, call in Myers, call in whoever you got. I want him gone. And he's a free agent after the season. Absolutely. Cut bait right now. So that is my mission to Mars. I don't know who's going to get it next week. I hope no one. I hope I can come on here next week and say, no, nobody gets it. Nobody gets my mission to Mars because I don't want to have this segment every week. I wish I don't have it because if I don't have it, that means that people are playing well. People are doing well. People are talking well. People are not having bad pressers. People are not looking foolish because it's not just about your play. It's about what you say. So that's all I'm saying. Mission to Mars. I don't know if you guys have anything else. Last words, because I'm a crazy man. So, I'm done.
Back to regular programming tomorrow. And Mets better pull in this win. It's a series win. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shake this one off and get back to work. Yeah.
And now that Huascar Braziman is on notice and David Peterson is basically getting sent to Mars, I'm expecting a Cy Young turnaround for David Peterson and Huascar Braziman to have a 0 ERA. So keep an eye out for that, everybody.
Listen, if Mission to Mars is going to be able to,
it's the thing. Guys, it's the motive.
It's the motive. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want bad things to happen to the Mets. I am not that type of person, but I need to call it out when it's bad. That's all I'm saying. We can't just be the team that says oh well, things are gonna work out and blah blah blah, and have all of this positivity. No. You need some realism sometimes.
I'm
That's
not
all
complaining. The last time you sent somebody to Mars, they turned it around. So
Right.
I'm saying,
who was it? It was Love Lady. It was a few people that was on that list.
It was Love Lady. Yeah, Vientos was on there.
Vientos was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So like you send these guys, you threaten to send these guys to Mars, they get afraid of space and they start hitting or pitching. And now you're about to send David Peterson to Mars. Here comes another all-star appearance.
I hope it happens. I have a feeling I don't want this to happen. I'm not going to call this into existence, but I think that there may be an early candidate for Mission to Mars next week. And if he doesn't shape up, oh boy, it's gonna be bad.
Look, if Carlos Mendoza can't be the motivation enough that we need, maybe threatening to send people to Mars is the motivation.
Yeah, they need to show them this segment, be like, this guy's absolutely crazy, and there's something to it. To it. Okay, it's like Danhausen curse. You get the Mission to Mars, you better shape up. That's all I'm saying. That's it for this show. We'll be back next week. We'll also know. Actually, because the series is wrapping up tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow, yeah.
So maybe we'll do a post game, quick post game, and but obviously we'll be back for the Three Amigos every Wednesday around the same time, same Batman time, same Batman channel. This was good. Got a lot out. There's a lot of things. Yeah, Alfred, shouts to you being able to bring up that Yankee. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna be nice, but. Sometimes I had to be said. That's all for the show. Stay cool. Stay safe. Peace.